Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today we're taking a look at a new Lattafa release, and it's Lattafa's Sehr. Alright, so Sehr is from the house of Lattafa. It's an eau de parfum concentration, and you can pick this sucker up for $37 at places like Fragrance Buy. I'm gonna have a link down in the description if you decide you want to check this one out. Also have a coupon code, save yourself $5 off your first purchase at Fragrance Buy if you decide you want to shop with them. I think I'm saying the name right, Sehr, something like that. Comment down below if I'm absolutely butchering that. Box presentation on this, really nice box presentation. Has this kind of shimmery kind of outline of the bottle, and if you get really close, you can kind of see it's like a dot matrix, pixelated style of graphic on the front. So really nice thick cardboard on this, all the necessaries on the back, and a nice shimmery gold. And it does open up like so, revealing our crazy looking fragrance bottle on the inside, sitting in this nice little foam podium, and it is quite snug sitting in there. So overall box presentation on this, really nice. And this bottle, we got to talk about this bottle, because this Lattafa has outdone themselves in terms of bottle presentations. I'm not sure if this is tacky or if this is like pretty amazing, but it is what it is. It's got this really heavy cap on. Like the cap on this weighs about the same as this bottle, and it is a pure metal. It's this kind of serpent with like an orb, you know, crystal ball sitting in its mouth with its tail kind of looped around there. It's really quite the cap on this, but it's super heavy. Bottle on this is pretty straightforward, you know, typical tall cylinder bottle of this, nice thick base. It does have kind of a plasticky top and a really cheap plasticky bottom, but like I said, this weighs about the same as that. So they really put all the effort into this cap and kind of cheaped out on the plastic here. But overall, interesting bottle presentation, I have to say. And the atomizer on this, average atomizer, decent sprays, good distribution, will get the job done. So for 37 bucks, I don't know, you let me know down in the comments. What do you think of that bottle presentation? I kind of like it. So if you were wondering what Lattafa's Sehr smells like, you've come to the right place, because I'm about to tell you. Some of the notes listed in this are a cinnamon, bitter almond, jasmine, pomerose, akigala wood, vanilla absolute, amber, and tonka bean. So let me tell you what I get from this fragrance. In the opening, you get that nice, soft, sweet, semi-bitter style of almond that comes through. A little bit of warm cinnamon is there as well, but you get some nice florals from that jasmine, that pomerose. Really nice, sweet opening. You do get some of that tonka and the amberiness coming in from the base, so it has this really kind of dusty, almost kind of dry sort of texture going on to it, a bit like on a powdery side, but like dusty would probably be the best word I would use. This is really ridiculous to hold right now. I'm putting this down. No, I'm gonna put it on. There, sorry. As this opens up a little bit more, you do get that vanilla that starts to come through. So it adds to that floral sweetness that's in there from that jasmine, from that pomerose. Little hints of that akigala wood is there, and that cinnamon comes forward just a bit, just kind of warming things up, adding an additional spice to it, and a little bit of that warm kind of sweetness that you get from cinnamon. But it's not a main player. That bitter almond is more of the sweetness with those florals, but that vanilla absolute really starts to move in as you get towards the midpoint of this fragrance. And as you get towards the dry down, this really transforms into a very vanilla fragrance. So this is getting heavy in the one hand. Really silky, smooth style of vanilla. The ambery texture, that dusty tonka adds to that vanillic accord, but it also just maintains that texture that's there. And the akigala wood comes through a little bit more. So it adds a little bit of a woody profile to it, as some additional spice. That cinnamon by this point is kind of dropped off into the background, adding more of a temperature than an actual spice to it. And that akigala wood spice with that woody profile just kind of pokes out from the edges, but more or less kind of forms a foundation for this really nice vanilla absolute, just to kind of drizzle on top. The florals are kind of dancing around the sides, just softening the edges to this. Very gourmand, very smooth, very kind of sexy, mysterious, alluring style of fragrance. And it's just sweet hints of spice, very warm, cozy, and comforting style of scent to this, and definitely a unisex fragrance. On Fragrance Buy, they have this listed as for man. I would disagree. I do think, like I said, this is a unisex fragrance. I think this would definitely appeal to the ladies out there. And if you're a gentleman that's into more the kind of the sweeter style of fragrances, the more gourmandy fragrances, then this would be right up your alley. So overall, like I said, a very sweet style of fragrance, but it has some nice depth, added character to it with that bitter almond and those florals playing with that vanilla, little hint of spice. So overall scent profile on this, really quite nice. So when it comes to the performance of Lattafa's Sehr, the projection on this is moderate, maybe even a little on the weak side, to be quite honest. This doesn't blast off your skin. It's not a room-filling fragrance if you use, an average amount of sprays. About an arm's length, maybe a little bit beyond for that first hour, hour and a half. You do leave a nice scent trail. People are definitely going to smell you, but it does come and sit fairly close after that hour and a half mark. But what I will say about the longevity is this does last on skin for quite a while. I get about 8 hours worth of longevity before it really becomes a skin scent. And even at that skin scent mark, that 8 hours and beyond, up to like 10, 11, 12 hours, it sticks around. It's there and you can still smell it if you get really close to it. So the longevity on this is really good. Projection, not so great. It's, like I said, a very intimate, cozy style of fragrance, more of kind of a date night style of fragrance. But so sort of a mixed bag when it comes to performance, but overall, I'd say I'm not disappointed, but not overly thrilled. So when it comes to the where and when, I think Lattafa's Sehr would be most appropriate. This is definitely a cool weather style of fragrance, a fall into the winter time. Has that sweetness, has that little bit of that warm spice that's worked in there, that little hints of those woods that are in there as well. Just lends itself to those fall seasons, those winter seasons, just a cool weather style of fragrance. This would be way too sweet in the high heat. You might be able to get away with this on, kind of a mild spring day, but I think just when it comes to the vibes, this is more of a fall and winter style of fragrance. And when it comes to occasions, you could wear this casually, but this I think lends itself more to, like I said earlier, to more of the kind of the date night style of fragrances, evening out and maybe even kind of a formal occasion. Has that allure, that sexiness, that flirty side to it, that kind of delicious gourmandy essence to it that would be just perfect on a date night for ladies or gentlemen with your special someone. That's where I think this one is going to shine the most. And like I said, evening out, it has that allure and that mysteriousness going on to it. So overall, cool weather scent that I think is just great for date nights. So my overall thoughts on Lattafa's Sehr. I think this is a really nice fragrance. The scent profile on this is absolutely delicious. If you are into gourmand fragrances, you will enjoy this fragrance. And I do like kind of some of the added characters, not just like a straight up vanilla fragrance, that bittersweet almond that's mixed in there, some of those white florals, the little kind of hints of that cinnamon spice, the akigala wood that works its way in there as well. Just has kind of a nice depth, nice character to it. And it does kind of transition you from that opening to the dry down, kind of taking you on a little bit of a ride through kind of the gourmandy territory. And I just really enjoyed it from that opening to the dry down. Wish the performance was a little bit better in terms of projection, but overall the longevity, like I said, is pretty good. So like I said earlier, neither thrilled nor disappointed when it comes to performance, but I do think this is a great date night fragrance for the fall and the winter time, and overall pretty pleased with this fragrance. And I think for $37, if you're into gourmand fragrances and you're into kind of more of the unisex gourmand fragrances, this might be something you want to check out. That's Lattafa's Sehr. And I want to hear from you guys. What's the next Lattafa fragrance I should do a full review on? Comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love getting your different recommendations, your hidden gems, different tastes and scent profiles. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.